In 1877, a man walked into the office of the Scientific American and he set before its editors a machine. He then turned its crank and it spoke. It said, "Good morning. How do you do? And how do you like the phonograph?" And thus, recorded sound first cut through the air. Some 50 years later, a blind street preacher named Willie Johnson was approached by a man who had a phonograph recorder in his car. So on one hot Texas afternoon, a needle called beeswax into a groove as Blind Willie recorded the greatest ever example of slide guitar, a song called "Dark Was the Night" about the crucifixion of Christ. The Russian composer Igor Stravinsky once said, "Music, it praises God. It is better able to praise him than the building of a church." They say Stravinsky so often looked for inspiration that every time his music found direction, he would just as quickly change, looking for something more perfect. And then, on the 100th anniversary of recorded sound in 1977, NASA shot a satellite into space. Knowing it might be the first thing from our race to ever come in contact with aliens or far future humans who may find it, they put a gold-plated record on board and a stylus. And they named it the Voyager. It was mankind's message in a bottle that we pointed to the heavens and pitched. It says we were here, we created, we believe, we exist. It was something to document the history of humankind, and out of the 27 recordings that they etched onto its side, Blind Willie and Stravinsky were two of them. Blind Willie spent his life in juke joints and liquor houses, but his music is now kicking 10 billion miles away. Stravinsky was once arrested for rewriting the Star-Spangled Banner because he thought he could make it better, and what he made just crossed the threshold of a solar system. When Blind Willie couldn't find a bottleneck, he would use a switchblade as his slide. Scraping metal against metal is some man-made contraption now skips past a nebula. Hold on. Who else thinks it's ironic that a song called "Dark Was the Night" just felt the light from a supernova? See, the reason we artists live to write or compose or paint is the same reason that scientists invent. It's to create. It's so that when nobody's looking and the world is quiet, we can ask God to reveal just what he's hiding. What mark will I leave, God? How far will I inspire? Because if the sky is the limit, fuck it, we'll shoot that much higher. Who cares if scientists have no faith? What we call God, they call out of space. And one day somebody's gonna see it, floating out there on its own. The prayer that we launched made of steel and of chrome. It's our Declaration of Independence, y'all. And we dipped it in gold because we are the Voyagers. And we're not here alone. Blind Willie, Stravinsky, Bach, Beethoven, and Brahms. I wonder what those creatures will think of when they first crank that arm, and I swear some days later we're going to intercept a laser. While young people hold their breath and we stare to the sky and ask, how long have we waited for what's in that reply? As a nation of old folks rise to their feet, they're pulled by some force to their TVs. They'll stand by, and that message will read, "We too know Jesus. He was a hell of a guy, but send us more of that Blind Willie Johnson."